Moving on to a team who has had no success recently, the Pittsburgh Steelers, losers of three straight, dropped Saturday's game to the Colts. What an embarrassing loss. And this is my team. I have nothing good to say. Mason Rudolph just got literally about an hour ago, got named the starter for this upcoming week's game. I I think Mason Rudolph sucks because he does. This dude got hit in the helmet, hit in the head by a helmet by Myles Garrett. He's terrible. I don't like Mason Rudolph. I like Mitchell Trubisky, but he's not the guy. Kenny Pickett, he's obviously not the guy. They need to get a new quarterback. Three straight losses. Your playoff hopes are on life support in this stacked AFC. I don't even know where to go. Who's to blame? Matt Canada, you got fired. So now the Steelers fans, we don't have to blame Matt Canada anymore. So where do we go? Kenny Pickett got hurt, so it's not like it's his fault. He's in the clear for now. Who's up next? We can blame our diva wide receivers. Sure, we saw the lack of effort out there. You can blame injuries to Minka Fitzpatrick. Cam Hayward went down early in the year. You can blame all of that, but the finger has to get pointed right now at Mike Tomlin. You had the Killer Bees, and you didn't win a Super Bowl with them. We've only won, I think, 3 playoff games in the last 10 years, I want to say, something like that, which is absolutely pitiful when you have a talent like Big Ben, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. Granted, had to run into the Patriots, and we know how that all went. But still, Mike Tomlin, you need to be looked at here because I'm looking right at you. I'm not calling for your head yet, but I'm very close. I know you haven't had a losing season. You had a Super Bowl win. You're a Super Bowl winning head coach. I understand all that, but there comes a point when, just like the Patriots, all the success Bill Belichick had with the Patriots, that's coming to an end. He's gone after this year. Tomlin, a lot of success with the Steelers, but that might have to come to an end here. All good things must come to an end, and it might be time for a whole rebrand in Pittsburgh. I still don't know if I want that, but the position that the Steelers are in is one that I absolutely hate. Looking at another team who's in a similar position, just like the Vikings, both of those teams are too good to get a top draft pick, but not good enough to go out there and win a Super Bowl. Their ceiling is probably just winning a playoff game. And I hate being in that position because you're not good enough to compete, but you're not bad enough to go out here and get one of these franchise players like a Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., anything of that talent. So you lose out on that, and you sit there and you're like, what now? I don't know what the Steelers are going to do. They're definitely not going to go and make a move for a franchise quarterback. I know Sam always says Kirk Cousins is such a Steelers guy. I love Kirk. I don't want Kirk, though. He's older. We know what he can do, as we've seen him with the Vikings. He's a guy who he'll have great games, and he'll have games and you're like, what's going on? He's a great locker room guy. He's a good NFL quarterback, but he's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And for the Steelers, I want a guy who's going to be the franchise guy and is going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback and prove to us that we can do that. I haven't seen him with Kenny Pickett yet. Mitchell Trubisky, he was the guy in Chicago. That didn't work out. Mason Rudolph, he's been the third string all year. It's not really working out there. He needs to go. He was battling with Devlin Hodges a few years ago. I'm really going back now. This is probably the most worked up I've ever been. I'm not yelling because I did all that already over this past weekend about this team. I'm just at a loss for words. I'm pissed off that Sam is in here to be able to watch me actually go through these emotions now on camera because it's always off camera. I'm really getting worked up right now again. I mean, I don't know. Do I flip a table? Do I punch a hole through my computer? I don't know. I'm very mad. I don't even know what to do. And their next 3 games, Cincinnati, Jake Browning, he's been playing lights out. Seattle, I think that game's a toss-up. I don't even know anymore. And then the Baltimore Ravens, who are the top team in the AFC right now, holding that number 1 seed. So in the next 3 games, we'll get to our predictions later, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But I really don't know if the Steelers can win more than 2 games maximum with here. I mean, are they going to fight their way to get to above 500 or 500 or better? Maybe tie here, go 1-1-1? I don't know. I don't care. I just want to know what's going to happen next year because we're not winning a Super Bowl. We might not even make the playoffs. Coming into the year, I didn't have Super Bowl hopes, but I had higher hopes than this. We're wasting away TJ Watt, arguably the best defensive player in the league now, in the running for yet another defensive player of the year. And we're just wasting him. I'm I'm very annoyed. Pickens, he's being a little diva, but rightfully so. Rightfully so. When you're stuck in an offense that's averaging 14 points per game since firing Matt Canada and just over 16 with Matt Canada, and there's that much talent, it just is a whole rebrand. And if we got rid of Mike Tomlin, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, we need to do that. I'm just so stuck in the middle here. But I've had enough of this team right now. I'm ready to move on, and I don't even want to see them. Thankfully, they're not even on Red Zone next week because I don't. But I have to watch them on Saturday, so I'm gonna ruin my Saturday.